Hey guys, Adam Fennig here with Fennig Equipment. You're tuned into the Talking Shed webinar. Today we're going to talk about Copperhead and RK products and what they can offer for your planter. Copperhead Ag is located out west in the Dakotas. They offer a handful of planter products, most known for the Copperhead Furrow Cruiser, but I'm going to introduce you to some things today that you may have never even seen before. Copperhead Ag now owns RK products as well, which is where a lot of their wear parts come in. And here in a little bit, I'm going to share the screen and we're going to go to their website and go down the list of products that they offer. But first off, I want to talk about a product that we've handled or have sold a lot of in the last 6 months or so. And to back it up, Fennig Equipment has been selling the Copperhead products for probably 2 years now, 2 or 3 years. We mainly started with the Furrow Cruiser closing wheel. They offer a great option for those poly spike closing wheels. And if that's something that you need here yet this spring, we do have 96 rows of completes and of the outer rings in stock. And I do know that they've got a bunch of them on hand out there at the factory. So no need to get nervous on those. We can get you covered. But that's another thing we'll talk about here shortly. What I want to talk about now is a product that gets me most excited, and that is their closing wheel tailpiece repair kit is what I call it. So what it does is let's just focus on like a 1770 for right now. Everyone with a 1770, you've got that John Deere bushing that sits in there, and basically what happens is that bushing wears out your cast closing wheel tailpiece bracket. So over time, you get play left and right of that. The reason that you get play in that is because it's a poor design. John Deere from the factory, they put those bushings in, and what's supposed to happen is those bushings are supposed to wear. But what happens is that closing wheel tailpiece, the cast piece wears, and it becomes egg-shaped. And then you get play in it. And then whenever you go around turns and contours, your spike closing wheels that are supposed to be right here on the center are actually over here, and they're flipping your seat out of the ground. It's no good. And it's something that whenever I go look at a guy's planter, I shake those and instantly it gives you a feeling of, man, this planter's wore out. So not only from a resale value can it help you, but of course from getting your closing wheels exactly centered on that row. Because remember, when we're setting up our closing wheels, think of each one of these as a closing wheel. We want them spaced at 1.25 inches between those two. So you think about that, 1.25 inches, if there's play in that closing wheel tailpiece whatsoever, you can be running spikes right on top of that row. And of course, that's not a great thing to have. So basically there's two options here. If you have a brand new planter, and by brand new, I mean that thing has not seen a single acre, you will take out your factory bushings and you will put these bearings in place of those bushings. The advantage there, or the reason why we can do that, is because your hole on your closing wheel tailpiece is still perfectly centered. So when you put this in, it'll remain tight, and you can just slip these in there. $14 a row gets you the bearing and the hardware kit. Comes in this nice handy bag, simple to open. Everything's together. You get the bushings, the washers, some bolts. It's a complete kit. It's really nice how they package that. They've done a great job not only packaging their closing wheels, but now with these repair parts. So brand new planter, you get 2 bearings and your hardware kit for $14 a row. Tough to beat. If you have a planter that has any acres on it whatsoever, that tailpiece is going to be worn. So you cannot just slip this in there. You can, but when you do it, that tailpiece is still going to have play, because that round piece in your closing wheel bracket is not truly circular. It's more of an egg shape. So that play will always be there, even if you replace it with a new John Deere bushing or this, which is why people have to go out and buy the new cast piece from Deere, which is typically unnecessary due to this kit. So what we do is we take this bushing and you center it over the hole that is on your closing wheel tailpiece, and you weld an inch here and an inch here. And I know that we are welding this steel to cast. I know that. It holds up just fine. It's not under immense pressure or tension. An inch of weld here and an inch of weld here with a regular wire welder or a stick welder will hold just fine. It'll weld it on, it'll stick. Customers have done it time and time again. I just ask that you grind that paint off of there. Also, we do not have a jig to center this over that wheel, over that hole. In fact, if this is your hole, guys always ask me, well, how do I know that I'm getting that thing perfectly centered on that? Well, you would actually have to try pretty dang hard to screw that up. The reason I say that is if you look at your planter, the piece that closing wheel bracket bolts to has got slotted holes for play. So even if this is not welded on truly centered, when you bolt that up, you can center it and bolt it fast and you're good. So basically hold this over top of that hole, tack it where you feel it center, and weld both sides. It's pretty simple. So once this is welded to the side of your closing wheel tailpiece, you then can stick your bearing in there, and you can see that's a real nice true fit. And now your closing wheel piece is going to pivot on the bearing rather than steel on steel. This does so many things. It keeps you from ever having to buy a John Deere cast closing wheel tailpiece ever again, which I don't know off the top of my head what Deere charges, but I can tell you right now, we've got them in our replacement book, and I can tell you right now what they're going to be. That's 7,000s. Let me get to the John Deere 1700s. That cast tail piece is going to run you $47 for the tail piece. Right there it is. Look over there. $46.95. So there is no need to ever buy that thing again now unless you completely trash it. But the necessity to buy that because those holes are worn out is completely gone. $25 a row gets you this, and it does several things. It keeps them true and tight, tighter than they ever were at the factory. It eliminates the need to ever buy another bushing. I didn't even talk about the price of the bushing that fits in there. And longevity, when it goes to trade the planter in or sell it to your neighbor, he goes back there and shakes those, because that's a true test of how worn out that planter is how much those things move. Sometimes that's measured in feet, not inches, unfortunately. But whenever he goes back there to wiggle yours, it's true. It's locked on solid. Your closing wheels stay true. And there's just a lot of advantages to going this route. So Fennig Equipment has these in stock. I've got 24 rows of the weld-on kit and 24 rows of the standard bearing kit. So the RK Products closing wheel arm repair kit. The next product I want to talk about is their part number GWC, stands for Gauge Wheel Clip. What this is it's just some bent steel, and what they do is they clip this over top of your gauge wheel arm. So your gauge wheels obviously set the depth, and when they're riding through the field, there's what I call the stop on your planter row unit that stops these gauge wheels, and it's constantly knocking on these arms. And over time, you get a nice divot down into that arm, and you say, man, I really need to replace those. Or the old trick, you could just set your planter a little bit deeper to technically kind of make up for the divot, the 1/4-inch divot in your gauge wheels. Or you can take that worn out gauge wheel, you can weld it, again, weld on top of that thing, grind it flush, and slip this right over top of your gauge wheel arm, and now it's hitting on this steel and for $5 a side, $10 a row, you should never have to replace your gauge wheel arms again. So just think of what these two products right here are replacing. No more bushings in your closing wheel arm, no more new gauge wheels, by simply staying at home during quarantine and fixing the products that you already have with some very, very well thought out products that can add a ton of life and longevity to your planner. Think of it down the road as if you had to go buy a planner or sell yours. If you went to go buy a planner that had these products on it, you would say, man, that guy really takes care of his stuff. He's got a really nice planner. He cared about his pivot bushings. He cared about his gauge wheel arms. He put that clip on there. And think if you had to sell yours, you could tell the guy, I put these gauge wheel clips on to save them for longevity, and I really like having my closing wheel tailpiece nice and tight. So those are two products that we carry in stock. Obviously, aside from the Copperhead furrow cruisers that I probably don't need to talk much about because the fact of how popular they are. So I want to go over here to their website. If you go to copperheadag.com, their entire website shows up with a whole lineup of products. So I am under the RK products tab where it shows their wear parts. So all RK products. Closing wheel frame repair kit, we've talked about that enough. The gauge wheel arm repair kit. So if we click on that, if you've got gauge wheel arms that are worn out here, there's play side to side and your gauge wheel is sticking 6 inches away from your seed disc, that's a problem. That's where this gauge wheel arm repair kit comes in. They offer a really nice selection guide. Choose if you've got a John Deere 1700 original full threaded arms. You can pick what planner you've got, Case IH, White 5000, and it'll tell you your price. And you can add it to cart. It'll give you instructions on how to put them together. You can simply click on these instructions and print those off. Very nice, clean website. It allows you to go through there and click on the different products you want. While that's loading here, we'll go back and find some other products that they've got, if it lets me here. Wi-Fi must be a little slow today. But a couple of the other products that they offer, yep, there it goes. Okay, so in stock, real nice and big. They do have their closing wheels in stock. So we click on products, RK products, and all RK products. That'll bring us back to the page that we were on. So seed tube guards. Again, these are nice little products that don't cost a ton of money that can go a very long way on your planner. It'll set your planner apart from everyone else's out there. You're paying attention to the fine details, and it can really go a long way. So seed tube guards, they make carbide seed tube guards. They're very, very well built, very sturdy, and last quite some time. Gauge wheel scrapers, closing wheel repair kits, furrow cruiser hubs and bearings. If you've ever been looking for the wheel and you need just the inside, that hub and bearing kit, they've got those. They've got closing wheel mounting hardware. If you've ever replaced closing wheels and gosh dang it, your bolts and nuts are worn out, you can get those here at Copperhead Ag. Of course, Fennig equipment, and we can get them for you. Gauge wheel arm bushings, scrapers, and liquid fertilizer tubes. We can go back here to gauge wheels. Many of you may not know, but they do offer the Mudsmith gauge wheel, so we can get that for you as well. We'll click on all planting products. So Copperhead Ag furrow cruisers, the outside rings, we've got 96 rows in stock. The complete furrow cruiser, the furrow cruiser itself, Poly, I've got them in stock, 96 of them. We can ship out on Monday. And then we go down to Gauge Wheels and all types of other wheels. They've got a really nice and clean website here. Many of you guys may not know, but they also offer concaves, concave parts, concave sections for John Deere and Case IH planters, combines. So whenever this fall rolls around, you're looking for some new concaves on your combine, give us a call, ask us about the RK products, concaves. They offer a lot of great products there. Go to their wear parts section, and again, that brings it up. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. That kind of wraps it up. The RK products, Copperhead Ag and RK, what they've got going on out there is pretty neat. They offer some specialty repair items for your planter that are very, very necessary, and it can go a really long way in setting your planter apart from everyone else's and the longevity of your planter. So if you are interested in any of these products, give Fenig Equipment a call. Visit our website at fenegequipment.com, and I'll go to our website here real quick if it lets me. There we go. There's our website, fenegequipment.com. Give us a call. We can get these shipped direct to your door. So that's what we're doing today in today's webinar. So I'm going to sign off here, and I appreciate everyone tuning in and look for the next one coming up soon. Thanks, guys.